Good morning. Today's a very exciting day because I learned a new pose and I would like to teach it to you. It's called Fallen Star. It's somewhere between a side plank and um, some of the same motions that you use to come into Wild Thing are used in it. So let me just show you. And if you guys decide that you would like to try it today, that would be great. Hopefully, you'll like it as well. To come into this pose, you start in downward facing dog. And the first motion is the same motion that we take when we're bringing the knee to the nose, when we've got the leg up and bring the knee to the nose. So to start, come into three legged dog. Inhale, lifting that leg up. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose. And then send the foot through underneath the opposite leg. At this point, you're going to rest that leg that you've brought through on the pinky toe side of the foot. And just like in side plank, you're going to roll onto the big toe edge of the opposite foot, bringing all the weight onto that other hand, and then lifting this left hand up high. So you have the same balancing that you do, the balance challenge that you do in side plank, balancing on the side of that one foot and the hand, but you've got an extra foot over here as well. And if you want to bring the gaze up towards the ceiling, you can do that as well. Exhale, dropping the hand back down. Inhale, lifting that foot up again, and then release. So to come in on the other side, it's the same thing. Inhale, lifting the foot up into three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose. Shoulders come right over the wrists. And then send the foot through underneath the opposite arm, coming to rest on the pinky toe edge of that front foot and the big toe edge of the back foot, opening up the chest toward the side wall, stretching the upper hand towards the ceiling. And if it's okay on the neck, bringing the gaze up towards the upper hand. To come out again, take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, drop the right hand back down to the ground. Inhale, lifting the left foot back up high, coming back to three-legged dog. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. So I think fallen star looks like kind of a tricky pose, but actually it's not so difficult. It's actually a little bit easier than holding a traditional side plank because you've got that extra foot down on the ground. So it's just a little bit easier to balance. And it's a really nice stretch. I hope that today you guys will join me when I come into that pose during our flow. Let's start today in child's pose. Come to kneel on the mat. Make sure your toes aren't overlapping so you don't cut off your circulation there. Inhale, lifting the hands up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, stretching the hands out in front of you. Relax your forehead down towards the ground. Make sure you're nice and comfortable here. You can have your knees together, or you can have some space between them. Arms can be stretched out in front of you, elbows just resting on the ground, or you can have your hands wrapped back towards the feet with the palms facing up. Head and neck just resting on the mat. Begin by noticing how the mat feels underneath your fingers, or maybe you're on a flat floor somewhere in your house, carpet or something like that. Just notice the texture underneath your fingertips here. And then bring your awareness to the temperature of the room where you are. Notice if there's any breeze, any little sounds going on around you. Bring yourself fully into the present, Here and now, maybe you hear some chirping birds or the sound of some electronics, the air conditioner inside of your home. Now start to listen to your breath, deepening and lengthening each breath, not in a forced way, just a gradual stretching out of the breath. I was taught that the word yoga means unity between the mind, the body, and the breath. And focusing on the breath also allows you to bring yourself even more into the present moment. Feel your lungs filling up, pushing the rib cage out to the sides. Notice that gentle release of pressure in your chest as you exhale. Start to find your ujjayi breath, the victorious breath. Constrict your throat just a little bit so that you can hear your breath inside of your head, sounding like the ocean moving in and out. Let the sound of your breath fill your mind completely, pushing away all other thoughts and bringing you fully into your body here and now at this moment. Start to do your body scan from the tips of the fingers. Work your way through your hands, into your wrists, to the elbows and the shoulders, across the back of the neck, up into your facial muscles, the jaw, the forehead, and then move down the spine into your hips and through the legs, knees, ankles, and toes. As you go through each body part, just make a mental note of anything that doesn't feel quite right today, any sore spots, any areas that are particularly tender, so that you can be extra careful of those things as you move through your flow today. But you can always take a break or modify any pose in a way that's right for you, just to make this practice your own. We each have our own unique history and a unique genetic makeup, which means that nobody is ever going to look the same in any pose. And what feels right for you might not be right for somebody else, and vice versa. The most important thing in yoga is to honor where you are in this moment and take all of those things into account. Take a few more deep, full breaths here, just being inside of your body. Keeping your chest really low to the ground, start to crawl the fingertips all the way over to the right. Hips can lean a bit to the left. You can rest on your left. Maybe you feel a nice stretch along the left side of your body from your armpit down to your hip. And now crawl your fingers all the way over to the left. Hips lean a bit to the right. Maybe you want to rest on the right cheek. Notice how the right side is feeling here. Walk your hands back to center and come into puppy. Crawl the fingertips forward, lifting the hips up. Hips can come right above the knees or just behind. Reach your chin or chest down towards the mat. Feel a nice gentle back bend here. On your next inhale, bring your hands back to lift up your chest. Make your way to hands and knees tabletop. And then adjust so that your wrists come right below the shoulders and the knees come right below the hips. And then start to move through cat cow. Inhale, belly drops down, roll the shoulders back. Bring your gaze up or forward. Exhale, pushing the spine up towards the ceiling, one vertebrae at a time, starting down at the base of the spine, working your way up to the neck. Relax your head and neck down and bring your gaze through your knees. Keep moving, just like that. Always going with the breath. Try to stretch the motion out to match the breath, lengthening the breath. Come back to a neutral spine. Bring your knees together to touch. Step one foot out behind you. Tuck your toes under and push through your heel. You can find some stillness here, getting a nice stretch on the back of that right leg, or you can move in and out, finding your edge. Just notice how that leg feels. Stretching out the calf muscle here. Bring your right knee back down to the mat and sit it down and switch sides. Step the left foot back. Tuck the left toes under, push through the heel. Find some stillness, pushing back through that heel, or move in and out, forward and back. Just noticing how that leg feels. Step your left knee back to the mat. Come into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Take a big breath in. Exhale, lifting the hips up. Downward facing dog. Check in with your shoulders. Making sure the shoulders are moving down the back towards the hips, out of the ears. Move around a little bit here. Find a nice, comfortable down dog position. You can bend one knee and then the other. Get the blood flowing through the legs and hips. Push your heels down towards the mat, but they don't ever need to touch. Just reaching in that direction is okay. Make sure you're pushing down through the pads at the ends of each of your fingers on the curve at the bottom of the palms. Like you're gripping the mat. Have a little micro bend in the knuckles. Lift your right foot high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, stepping the foot through between the hands. Drop the left knee down to the mat and rise up on an inhale to low lunge. You can bring your hands straight up, or if you're feeling wobbly, you can always drop the hands down to the knee to find your balance, and then lift the hands up, turn the pinkies in, keep the shoulders down the back. Interlace your fingers, pointers up, take a big breath in. Exhale, gentle back bend, pushing the hips forward. Be real gentle with your neck here. Straight back up, breathing in nice and slow. It's a balance challenge. Exhale, twisting around to the right. Drop the left hand across the right knee and reach the right arm back. Maybe you can line that arm up with your back leg. Maybe you're just reaching towards that direction. On your next breath in, lift your hands back up overhead. Exhale, release, plant your hands down, framing the front foot. Tuck the left toes under. Left knee pops up off the mat. Bring all weight to your left hand. Inhale, lifting your right arm high. Open arm twist toward the side wall. Stack the shoulders. Arms are perpendicular to the floor. If it's okay on your neck, you can bring your gaze up towards your upper hand. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, release your right hand back down to the ground. Look forward, take a deep breath in. Exhale, stepping the left foot up to the right. Forward fold. Half lift to breathe in, lifting up the torso. Bring your torso parallel to the ground. Forward fold as you breathe out, relaxing the upper body down. Inhale all the way to standing, bend the knees, roll the spine up one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Hands float up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch. Inhale, hands high. Interlace the fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the right. Up to center, breathing in. And to the left as you breathe out. Inhale to center. Standing back bend. Exhale. You can bend your knees just a little bit. Straight back up as you breathe in. Exhale, diving forward, hinge from the hips, keeping the spine really long as you go down. Half lift to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Drop the knees down to the mat if you like. Up dog or cobra on a breath, and if your legs are all the way on the ground, keep your elbows bent. Exhale, tucking the toes, lift the hips up to downward facing dog. Left side, left heel comes up high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, stepping the foot through between the hands. Drop the right knee down to the mat and rise up on an inhale to low lunge. Again, you can lift your hands straight up, or if you're feeling at all wobbly, drop your hands down to your knee. Find your balance there. Once you bring your hands up, turn the pinkies in. Keep the shoulders moving down the back. Interlace the fingers, pointers up. Take a big breath in. Exhale, gentle back bend. Go really slow here. It's a balance challenge. Straight back up, breathing in. Exhale, twisting to the left. Right hand drops across the left knee, and the left arm is reaching back. Maybe you can line it up with the back leg. Maybe you're just reaching towards that direction. On your next breath in, lift your hands back up overhead. Exhale, release, plant your hands down, framing the front foot. Tuck your right toes under, your right knee pops up off the mat. Bring all weight to the right hand. Inhale, lifting the left arm high. Open arm twist toward the side. Try to stack the shoulders here, bringing the arms perpendicular to the floor. Maybe you can lift the gaze up towards your upper hand if that feels okay on your neck. One last breath in. Exhale, release your left hand back down to the mat. Look forward, take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, step the right foot up to the left, forward fold. Half lift to breathe in, pull the shoulders down the back, opening up the chest. Forward fold, breathing out, relaxing the upper body down. Inhale to standing, bend your knees, unroll your spine, starting with the base of the spine, working your way all the way up to the neck, and then lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch again, this time starting to the left first. Inhale, hands high. Interlace the fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the left. Up to center, breathing in. And to the right as you breathe out. Inhale, straight up to center. Exhale, standing back bend, real gentle with the neck. Come straight back up on a breath in. Exhale, forward fold, keeping the spine really long. Take your whole exhale to come down. Half lift as you breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Up dog or cobra on a breath in. And downward facing dog as you exhale. One last sensation, straight up and down this time, no side stretch. Bend your knees, look forward to your hands, take a big breath in. Exhale, hop or step right between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Rising up to standing on a breath in. Take your time, lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Straight back down. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Stay strong in the legs. Half lift to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Up dog or cobra on a breath in. Downward facing dog, exhale. Lift your right foot up high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose. Shoulders come right over the wrists. Foot goes straight back up, breathing in. Exhale, cross the knee over towards the left elbow. Foot goes up on a breath in. Exhale, tapping the right knee to the right elbow. Foot goes straight back up to breathe in. And step your right foot through between your hands as you breathe out, rising up on an inhale to crescent lunge. Both toes pointing straight forward, back heels lifted. Feet are on two different train tracks. Front knees right over the ankle. Nice deep bend in that front knee. We're going to do 3 knee dips here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, dipping the left knee down towards the ground. Cactus the arms. You can come into a gentle back bend if that feels okay. Straight back up to breathe in. 2 more times, dipping the left knee down. You can dip a lot or just a tiny bit, whatever feels right for you. And last one. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, opening out to warrior two. Pivot the back foot around, bringing the feet perpendicular to each other. Front heel can intersect the back heel or the back arch. Check on the front knee, make sure it's not dipping down towards the big toe side of the foot. Still right over that ankle. Arms are nice and high. Peek at the back hand. And then bring the gaze over the front middle finger. 5 yoga jumping jacks, going with the breath. Inhale, straighten out the front knee, bring your hands up overhead. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to warrior two. 4 more, just going at your own pace. You don't have to stay with me. I'm just counting so you know where I am. 3, 2, and last one. Coming into Prasarita, wide-legged forward bend. Drop your hands to your hips. Straighten out the front knee. Turn the right toes toward the long edge of the mat. And peek down at your feet, making sure the pinky toe edges are parallel to each other. Pull your elbows towards each other behind your back. Puff up your chest. Take a big breath in. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips, leading with the chest. Keeping the spine long as you go down. Once you find your edge, relax your head and neck and let your arms come down to the ground. You can adjust your feet as needed here. My feet always want to go a little bit wider when I get my hands down. Relax your head and neck and start to crawl the fingertips forward, stretching out through the arms and the back and the legs. Make sure your legs are still perpendicular towards the ground. Sometimes we have a tendency to start to lean forward. Stay straight up and down with those legs. Keep the shoulder blades moving down the back, out of the ears. And breathe. Now walk your hands through your feet, fingertips pointing in the opposite direction behind you. See how far out behind you can crawl those fingers. Walk your hands back to center. Bring both hands right underneath the face. Weight comes to both of your hands to bend your knees and pull your heels in towards each other. Toes out, heels in. Inhale, rising up to starfish. Exhale, sinking down into horse. Bend your knees, bend your elbows. Your upper arms and upper legs are reaching towards being parallel with the ground, but they don't need to be perfectly parallel. Just as far as you can comfortably bring them. Stretch the spine up towards the sky. Sometimes we have a tendency to lean forward in this pose. You want to keep that spine centered right over the hips. Just a couple more breaths here. On your next inhale, rise back up to starfish. Exhale, opening out to warrior two. Take one more deep breath in here. As you breathe out, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Send your right heel up high on a breath in. Exhale, double dip chaturanga. Keep your right foot up or drop it down to the mat. Up dog or cobra, breathing in. Bring that right foot down. Exhale, roll over your toes. Lift your hips up to downward facing dog. Let's take a short break before we do that on the other side. Make your way to child's pose or any other comfortable resting position is fine. Relax your forehead down towards the mat. Relax through the arms. Close your eyes. Find your way back to a nice, strong, deep breath here. On your next breath in, lift your chest up back to hands and knees, tabletop. Exhale, tucking the toes under. Lift the hips up to downward facing dog. Lift your left foot high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose, shoulders right over the wrists. Foot goes straight back up, breathing in. Exhale, cross it over, tap it to your right elbow. Inhale, sending the left heel high. Exhale, tapping the left knee to the left elbow. Straight back up to breathe in. And step your left foot through between your hands as you breathe out, rising up on an inhale to crescent lunge. Crescent lunge is quite a balance challenge, even though it doesn't really look like it. Back right heel's lifted, front left knee is right over the ankle. Hands are up, pinkies turned in. Again, 3 knee dips here. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, dip your right knee towards the ground a little bit or a whole lot. Cactus the arms. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, dipping that right knee down. Last one, crescent lunge as you breathe in. Knee dip as you breathe out. Back up to crescent lunge, breathing in. And open out to warrior two. As you breathe out, pivot the right foot around, dropping that heel down, bringing the feet perpendicular to each other. Arms stretching straight forward and back. Spine is squared off, right over the hips. Peek on the back hand, make sure it's nice and high. And bring your gaze over your front middle finger. 5 yoga jumping jacks here, going with the breath. Inhale, knee straight, hands up overhead. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to warrior two. 4 more times with the breath. 3, try to take your whole breath to complete each motion. 2, really stretching out the breath and stretching out the motion. And last one. Back into Prasarita, wide-legged forward bend. Straighten out the front knee, drop the hands to the hips, and turn the left toes toward the long edge of the mat. Peek down at your feet, line up the pinky toe edges so your big toes are ever so slightly turned inward. Inhale, lifting your hands up overhead. Exhale, sweep the hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, push down, puff up the chest. Take a deep breath in. Fold forward as you breathe out, hinging from the hips, leading with the chest, keeping the spine really long going down. Relax your head and neck. Peel the arms off the back, push up through the hands to keep the shoulders out of the ears, sliding down the back towards the hips. Take one more breath in here and release. Let your hands slide down your legs, coming to rest at any point where you feel comfortable. If you can reach all the way down to your feet, you can tuck your fingers underneath the pinky toe edges of the feet and then bend your elbows straight out to the sides to bring your chest even closer into the legs for a deeper stretch. Release your hands out from under your feet. Bring both hands right underneath the face. When it comes to both of the hands, to bend the knees and pull the heels in towards each other. Inhale, rising up to starfish. Exhale, sinking down into horse. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. 4 more times just like that. Rising up to starfish as you breathe in. Sinking back down into horse as you breathe out. 3 more, just going with the breath. Trying to stretch out the motion to match the breath. 2. And last one. Back up to starfish, breathing in. Exhale, opening out, warrior two. Take a big breath in here. As you breathe out, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Left heel goes high on a breath in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Keep your foot up or drop it down. Keep the elbows right next to the ribs while you're lowering down. Up dog or cobra to breathe in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. Another little break, dropping the knees down to the mat. Make your way to child's pose. Close your eyes. Again, finding that nice, strong, deep, full breath here. Take a moment to notice how your breath is feeling. Again, the temperature and the texture of the breath. And bring your awareness to your surroundings. Just keeping yourself here in the present. Notice how the mat feels underneath your body. Feel the earth really supporting you here, supporting all of your weight. Feel your breath moving through your body, your rib cage expanding and contracting as you breathe in and out, your back rising and falling with the breath. Take a couple more deep breaths here. On your next breath in, lift your chest up to hands and knees tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Let's try to come into fallen star here. Lift your right foot up high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose. The shoulders come right over the wrists. And then send your right foot through underneath your left arm, coming to rest on the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Roll onto the big toe edge of the left foot. Now, if this is enough and you don't feel like you can balance, if you lift up that left hand, you can stay here. If you want more, lift the left arm up. Try to open up the chest toward the side wall, bringing the arms perpendicular to the floor. Maybe you can even bring the gaze up towards your upper hand. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, release your left hand back down to the ground. Inhale, lifting the right foot up high, three-legged dog. And exhale, release. Back to downward facing dog. Pedal your legs out a little bit before we try the other side. And let's come in on the left. Left heel comes up high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose. Shoulders come right over the wrists. And then send the left foot through underneath the right arm, coming to rest on that pinky toe edge of the left foot. Roll onto the big toe side of the right foot. Bring all the way to the left hand. Inhale, lifting the right arm high. Just like in side plank, you want to push the hips up. Almost imagine that you're making a rainbow shape in the hips. And you can have your gaze up towards your upper hand if it feels okay on the neck. And take one last big breath in here. Exhale, release your right hand back down to the ground. Inhale, lifting your left foot up high to three-legged dog. Exhale, release your left foot back down to the mat. Downward facing dog. Find a little bit of movement here, pedaling the legs. And let's try some balancing poses. Bend your knees, look to your hands, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hop or step between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Inhale to standing, bending the knees, unrolling the spine, stacking the vertebrae one at a time. Lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Tree pose. Adjust your clothing if you like. I'm going to mirror you here, so I'll be doing the opposite side. Bring all weight to your left foot. The right knee comes out, pointing straight out to the side. Keep the toes on the ground, set the sole of the foot on the ankle. Scoot those toes really close into the ankle. Or you can bring your foot up so your heel comes in the little curve right underneath the knee. And the last foot placement option is all the way up on the thigh above the knee. Make sure you don't push the knee joint in with your foot. Find your leg balance to start wherever you are with your hands on your hips or at heart center. And if you like, you can include the arms. Inhale, lifting the hands up overhead. Take one last big breath in here. Exhale, release, shake it out loud. And let's try the other side. All weight comes to the right foot. Left knee is pointing straight out to the side. Keep the toes on the ground. Set the sole of the foot on the ankle with those toes right up against the foot. Lift up your heel to come to rest in that little curve right under the knee. Or bring your foot all the way up on the thigh. Find your leg balance to start. Make sure you're not dumping into that hip. Sometimes we have a tendency to really push that hip out of the standing leg. Keep your hip nice and straight. And if you like, you can include the arms, inhaling, lifting the hands up overhead. Take one last big breath in and release as you breathe out. Shake it all out. Coming into big toe pose. Feet come hip width distance apart. Inhale, hands up high. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine long. Find your edge, relax your head and neck down. And then grab onto your big toes one at a time. Take your middle finger and your index finger, slide them in between the big toe and the second toe. Wrap them underneath the big toe, lock them in place with the thumb. You can bend your knees as much as you need to get your fingers around those toes. Once you've got them both, you can bend your elbows out to the sides, bringing the chest closer into the legs for a deeper stretch. You can find some stillness here, or you can find some movement, bending one knee and then the other. Get a little swaying motion going on. Nod your head yes. Take a deep breath in. And shake your head no. Breathe it out. One more time. Nod your head yes. Big inhale. Shake your head no. Exhale. Release your hands out from your toes. Bring weight to your fingers at the front of the mat to heel toe the feet back together again. Bend your knees. Inhale, rising up to standing nice and slow. Float your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Dancer's pose. Again, I'll mirror you, so I'll be doing the opposite side. Bring all weight to your left foot. Right hand comes out, like you're holding a tray. Sweep your hand down and back, keeping the palm of the hand and the crease of the elbow facing straight out towards the side. Kick your right foot up and grab the big toe side of the foot so that your thumb is on the top of the foot and the fingers are underneath. Elbow crease still facing out to the side. Make sure you didn't twist that elbow around. If this is enough of a challenge, stay right here. If you want a little bit more, inhale, lifting the left hand high. Exhale, folding forward. Bend your standing leg. Hinge from the hips. Lift that right foot up behind you. On your next breath in, rise back up to standing. Exhale, release, shake it all out. And let's come in on the other side. All weight comes to the right foot. Left hand comes out like you're holding a tray. Sweep the hand down and back. Check on the elbow crease and the palm of the hand. Pay real close attention. Make sure you don't twist that arm as you kick your left foot up, grabbing the big toe side of the foot. If this is enough, just stay right here. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, inhale, lifting the right arm high. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Bend the standing knee just a little bit. Lift that left foot up behind you. On your next inhale, rise back up to standing and release. Shake it out. Gorilla pose, hand to foot pose. Again, feet come hip width distance apart on the mat. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, folding forward from the hips. Nice long spine going down. Relax your head and neck. One at a time, lift up your toes and slide your hand underneath your foot so that the palm of the hand is facing the sole of the foot and the toes are resting right on the crease of the wrist. Again, you can bend your knees as much as you need to get your hand all the way underneath the foot. Relax your head and neck down. You can also bend the elbows out to the sides to bring the chest closer into the legs. And here you can find stillness or bend one knee and then the other. Get a little motion. Try to take a half lift with your hands still underneath the feet. Inhale, pull the shoulders back. Straighten out the spine. Take a big breath in here. And exhale, releasing back down into your fold. One at a time, release your hands out from under your feet. Weight comes to the fingers to heel to the feet back together again. Take a half lift as you breathe in. Exhale, double dip chaturanga. Plant your hands, hop or step back to your high plank. Lower down halfway, bringing the soles of the feet parallel to the wall behind you. As you're lowering down, up dog or cobra to breathe in, coming onto the tops of the feet. Exhale, roll over the toes, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. Bring your feet wide. Pinky toes come to touch the outside edges of the mat. We're coming into a little bit of a down dog twist here. Bring your hands, one handprint closer to the feet. Reach your right hand out and grab onto your left leg anywhere that feels good. Ankle, calf, or thigh is fine. Bring the gaze underneath the left arm. And then notice what your hips are doing. Sometimes they want to lean over to the left. Push them back so they're centered right between the feet. Release your right hand. Look forward to set it back down in its spot on the mat. And switch sides. Left hand reaches out, grabs onto the right leg, anywhere that feels good. Ankle, cuff, or thigh. Gaze comes under the right arm and check in with the hips. Keep those hips centered right between the feet. Release your left hand. Look forward to set it back down in its spot on the mat. And we're going to come right into Malasana, our deep squat. Bend your knees, looking forward to your hands. Take a big breath in. Exhale, hop or step outside the hands. Toes out, heels in. Feet should be about the distance of the mat. Bring your hands to heart center. Push your knees out with your elbows. You can open up your feet as wide as you need. Heels to touch. Straighten up your spine, sitting up nice and straight and tall. If you'd like to come in, plant your hands flat on the ground like chaturanga hands, fingers open nice and wide. Bring your feet together, knees popping out wide to the sides, and then bend your elbows back, tucking the elbows right underneath the kneecaps. Gaze comes on the ground in front of you about 12 to 18 inches. Shift your weight forward, making a shelf with those upper arms. Maybe you can float one foot. You can trade off floating one foot and then the other. Or maybe you can lift both of those feet up. Another option here is to have a block underneath your forehead and just set your forehead down on that block. So you've got three things to balance on instead of just the two hands. Helps a little bit if you're still feeling a little bit hesitant. When you're ready, release back down into your deep squat, pushing your knees out with your elbows. Take a big breath in, lengthening the spine, and release down to a seat. Coming into boat pose, knees pointing up towards the sky. Clasp your hands outside of the legs, and then start to straighten up your spine, lengthening the spine. Sitting up really straight and tall. Keep your spine exactly where it is. Release your hands. Tuck your fingers inside the creases of both knees and lean back to float the feet. If this is enough, stay right here. If you want a little bit more, release your hands out to the sides. And if you really want a challenge, work out the core, you can do some boat sit-ups. Inhale, lengthening, straighten out the legs, leaning back, but don't touch the ground. Exhale, coming back into boat. Maybe try for 4 more with the breath. Inhale, stretching it out. Exhale, bending the knees, coming back into boat. 3, just going with the breath. 2, and last one. Release your feet down to the mat. Hands come behind you, fingers pointing towards the hips. Gently windshield wiper the knees side to side. I like doing this with the breath. Inhale, lifting the knees up to center. Exhale, dropping them down to one side. And come all the way down onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Take a big breath in. Exhale, lifting the forehead up to the knees, curling into a tight little ball. Squeeze everything together. Release your head back down to the mat. Find your kneecaps with your hands. Do some gentle circles with the knees. Feel a nice massage on your lower back against the ground. And find circles going in the opposite direction. Release your arms out wide in a T. Float your legs in a tabletop, 90 degrees in the knees and hips. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, dropping the knees down together to the right, all the way to the floor. Try to keep the 90-degree angle in the knees and hips. Right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the left knee to help the leg stay down. And then bring the gaze over to the left hand to complete your twist. Release your right hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. Exhale, dropping them down together towards the left, all the way to the ground, keeping the 90-degree angle in the knees and hips or as close as you can come. Left fingers can tuck in the crease of the right knee to help the legs stay down. And bring the gaze over to the right hand. Release your left hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. Coming into a shoulder stand. Point your toes straight up towards the sky. If that's enough, you can stay right there. If you want to come in farther, bring your hands behind you and then bring your toes overhead just a little bit to start to peel the lower back up off the mat. Lift your hands up, supporting the lower back with the hands, and then start to bring your toes pointing back up towards the sky. Make sure not to move the neck here. You don't want to injure your neck. If your legs aren't perfectly perpendicular with the floor, that's okay. Just reaching in that direction is fine. Take one more breath in here. Exhale to plow pose. Release your feet overhead, reaching towards the ground, but they don't need to touch, just going in that direction. Release your hands back out on the mat behind you to help with balance. And on your next inhale, come back up to shoulder stand and release. Bend your knees, lower your back down to the mat. Happy baby pose. You can keep the knees bent and hold outside the knees with your hands or open up the feet. You can hold inside the creases of the knees or reach for the pinky toe edges of the feet. Push your tailbone flat on the mat. Gently rock side to side. You can straighten out one leg and bend the other knee and trade back and forth like that a couple times if you like. And release, making your way to Shavasana, our final resting posture. Adjust your clothing as needed. Find a really comfortable spot for your legs. Easy pose or Supta Baddha Konasana with the feet together and the knees out to the sides. Legs can be straight out or knees pointing up towards the sky. Wherever you are most comfortable. Lift your heart up and pull the shoulders down the back a little bit more. Bring your chin into your chest and rock your head side to side, letting the head fall back to its natural center point. Close your eyes. Release your body. Let yourself melt into the ground. Release all the tension that you find anywhere in any of your muscles, just feeling the ground beneath you, supporting your whole body. Release your breath, returning back to natural breathing. And release your mind. Just watch your thoughts come and go, like fishies swimming by you in a river. You see them and then they swim away downstream and disappear to be replaced by something new. Find a few moments of stillness to complete your practice today. Blink your eyes open. Start to make your way back up to a seat. Thank you so much for joining me today for yoga. Namaste.